Today I want to talk a little bit about fears, phobias, and how you can release them using alternative methods. This is Lynn DeLang from ThoughtChange.com, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video. So on my own personal journey, I had a number of very intense fears that I was able to release using alternative techniques. Probably the most significant or the most immediate one was when I was in Hawaii and I had booked a snorkel and swim with a dolphin tour, but I'd never snorkeled before. So when I went to rent the equipment to practice in the afternoon before the actual excursion, I discovered I had a really, really intense phobia. The second I put my head with my eyes open, very close to the surface of the water, it was unconscious, it was uncontrollable, and it just blew me away that I could have this phobia and not have known it. Typically, when I'm swimming, I would close my eyes underwater, not open it, and it had something to do with having my eyes open. It's not very good to go snorkeling with your eyes closed, so it was something I needed to fix. I went into my Hoonah training, which is what I was doing there in Hawaii, and went to an assistant and asked them for some help if they could point out someone who was a master practitioner of NLP, because I know in NLP that they have a very good formula for releasing phobias. And I was looking for a little assistance to let that go so that the next day I could take my excursion without any concerns. But what I was met with was a comment of, why don't you use Hoonah? Well, this was my first trip to Hawaii, my first training in Hoonah, and I had no idea that was even possible. So in a matter of a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds, the assistant popped a couple of the very powerful Hoonah symbols into my crown chakra, and poof, it was gone. I was like a little skeptical because I wasn't at the ocean. I thought, how could this be? But he said, you should be fine. If you need more help, then just give me a call. And I went out the next morning. I put on my snorkel. I went in the middle of the ocean. I had no problem opening my eyes and seeing the beautiful fish, swimming at the coral. And I had a lot of challenges because it was a wavy day, so I kept getting hit by waves. My mask leaked, so it was filling with water. It wasn't the right prescription, so I couldn't clearly see my boat and my group that I was with. And none of that mattered. There was zero fear. So that really, really blew me away. And that's one of 3 stories I have to share with you today about releasing phobias. The second one had to do with the very first time that I realized a phobia had disappeared. And it was early on in my training of being a healer. I already had Reiki, my 3rd level Reiki, and I'd started training in the Bodytalk system, which is a system that works with your innate intelligence to kind of change the energetic pathways and help release blockages. In my practice working with Bodytalk on my own self, I would get up every day and I would do at least one balance every day to kind of get into the rhythm of it. And at that time, I had a really intense fear of spiders, that if there was a spider in the house, I would be really uncomfortable. And one of the big, strong, handsome men, my husband or one of my sons, would have to take that spider and put it outside or get rid of it. I even remember a time when I was in the shower and I saw a spider in the corner, and I just totally freaked out and ran out of the shower, soaking wet, screaming, I might add. So here I was with this spider phobia. I didn't do any balances to release it because there were always some other things. And with the Bodytalk system, it's actually better if you allow your innate intelligence to bring up the issues that it wants to clear, because it has a bigger picture and you can clear all kinds of stuff on the peripheral without even knowing it. And that's what happened with my spider phobia. I've been doing one balance a day, and one day I was sitting at the dining room table and this spider came down from the ceiling and landed on my shoulder. And my arm was sitting on the table and this spider walked really slowly down my arm. And I watched it the whole way. I had no fear. I didn't scream. I didn't shake my arm. I thought, what is going on here? And from that day, I've not had that inner panic or terror when I see a spider or a spider is near in the room. It's not necessarily that I would pick one up and pet it, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. So that is my second story on phobias. The third time was a really intense fear. I wouldn't call it a phobia, but an intense fear or discomfort of driving on the freeway, a multi-lane, high-speed expressway, if you would like, and I had to go and drive on it. I would avoid it, and I did a kind of a tapping technique where you integrate both sides and you're tapping on both sides of your body while you are thinking peaceful thoughts, and then you stop, and it's an interesting technique, but I was doing it while I was driving, and it was okay. You know, it wasn't comfortable, but I was okay. I was okay. Well, then I came across a process that's really a parts integration, and it's really quick. It's only a couple of seconds, really. So, well, typically, I suppose it depends on how intense the differences between the shadow side and the non-shadow side. But certainly within a minute, I had done the balance. The next day, I picked a friend up. We drove downtown to Qigong class, and there was no fear at all. I had no fear. That concern about driving on the freeway is totally gone. So I would like to encourage you, if you find that you have places in your life where you have really intense fears, I want you to know that there is something you can do about it. You don't have to avoid these things and have these limitations, these limiting beliefs, these limiting emotions really hold you back. There is something you can do about it. In the meantime, if you find yourself in a situation where you're quite stressed and quite fearful, my greatest advice for you in the moment is to breathe deeply, because that actually will help to process the emotion. There are specific places that you can tap to help release that emotion as well. One of them would be the side of the hand. One of them would be under the eyes. It's on the stomach meridian that holds anxiety. Or here near the collarbone, it is the kidney meridian, which often holds fear. These are things you could do in the moment, but I would encourage you to be proactive and look at alternative ways that you can actually release that fear. If you're interested, you can comment under this video or send me a direct message and I'll see if I can help you out. This has been Linda from ThoughtChange.com. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.